their belief is that it is a law that is being placed to prohibit Black people from voting. Someone needed to hear that today. Read the quote again. Read the quote again.
Okay.
Can't relate to cancel culture, hookup culture, or victim culture?
Well, neither could we. We created this platform for those other girls. Girls like us who want to give a different perspective from a Christian and conservative worldview.
We talk about life, work, relationships, pop culture, and everything in between. So let's be those other girls that just don't talk about culture,
but change culture.
Hello everyone. You're listening to Those Are the Girls with Mallory and Friends. I'm Mallory.
I'm Freeman.
And we are changing culture and bringing back traditional values. Hello. Welcome back to another fabulous, amazing episode of Those Are the Girls. If you're new here, welcome. We are a pop culture podcast. We're talking about life, career, relationships, pop culture, all of the things, but we're doing it from a different perspective, a Christian conservative perspective, actually. And you're absolutely going to love it. This is going to be your new favorite podcast. You might as well go ahead and subscribe, follow, like, do all the things. You might as well go ahead and do it now. You can do it after too, but just go ahead and do it now. Here we go. Freeman, how has your week been? Anything exciting or fun happened?
Well, this week has been chaotic. Andy and I have been grinding at the DoorDash game because this weekend we're going to Birmingham to see my family. I have a wedding.
Fun.
Well, it's not my wedding. It's my cousin's wedding. And then next weekend we're going to San Francisco for Father's Day. So it's going to be a lot of traveling the next few weeks. So, and of course, we are starting a new segment that I've been very excited about. I don't know if we're going to share all of that right now, but
yeah, we can. By the time it'll be this comes out on Saturday, so everybody will hear the first one the day before this comes out. If you are on the Patreon. Freeman, can you let us know what it is?
Okay, so we're starting Freeman's Free for All Fridays, and essentially this is our time to talk about the things that we can't get into on the Teacap just for time reasons. So maybe, you've heard us say, oh my gosh, we could make a whole nother podcast about that topic. And this is our time to do that. So I'm of course going to be accepting suggestions. Our first conversation is going to be about the abortifacient effects of birth control, and this is only for Patreon listeners. So if you want to be tuned into this conversation, these side conversations we're having, you should join the Patreon. These are going to be 20-second little blips, or 20-minute blips. We're not going to go in
20 seconds. Wow,
No.
You can talk about that in 20 seconds?
I wish I could, but oh my gosh. Anyways, yeah, so it's going to be really short, quick, sweet little segments. And you should join the conversation over at the Patreon. It's going to probably, the topics are going to range from, pro-life issues all the way to like Old Testament phrases that make no sense to us, to like societal things, to my grandmother's words of wisdom when she like went to the Supreme Court, like all kinds of fun conversations. So that's really exciting, and I hope to see you there.
Yes, so you guys should all go ahead and join the Patreon, www.patreon.com/thosearethegirls. Go ahead and join. You can join for as little as $5 a month. We have a $5 tier. We have a $60 tier. We have a $30 tier. We have a $40 tier, and I want to say, let me just make sure I'm correct in the tiers we have. We definitely have the $5 tier, though, you guys. So yes, we have a $5 tier, a $20 tier, a $40 tier, and a $60 tier. And what you will absolutely love is that you will get all the same things, at least for right now, even if you're at the $5 tier, because what we really want, or what we really need, is just a little bit of help paying the bills right now. And then it's also, you're helping us further Those Other Girls, because Freeman is going to be doing her segment. We're going to be having some more blog posts. If you guys notice, we've done 2 kind of like topical blogs that aren't just the articles from the episode, but like 2 topical blogs. We're going to keep doing more of that. We have some new shows that are going to be coming. I don't want to give away too much, but if you want to help us with this, if you want to say, yeah, I'm a part of that, you can join for as low as $5. If you really, really like what we're doing and you're like, I can do more, if you can financially do more, $60 a month would be a huge help. But $5 is fine too. And you'll be able to get all of the Freeman Free for All Fridays episodes, as well as some of the other things we're going to be doing on the Patreon. So yeah, for me, nothing really fancy has happened this week. Yeah, I went, it's summer. It's like officially summer.
Yeah.
It's finally nice and warm in Charlotte. Last weekend was Chef's Kiss. Went out on the lake. I will say, have you felt any of the effects of we're recording this on Wednesday when the big storm or the big clouds came over New York. Have you felt any of the effects where you are?
Thank goodness I have not, but I definitely feel like a doom and gloom. It makes sense that like it started raining, and I was really happy that it started raining, because if it's that like weirdly hot and cloudy, I feel like it should rain soon.
Yeah. Well, I will say that I kept getting notifications on my phone that the air quality in Charlotte is low. It's not as bad as in New York. We don't have to have the whole mask thing, but the air quality all the way in Charlotte, which is so crazy. And I was watching the news, and I saw that even in South Carolina, they're saying that there's a little bit of the effects.
I saw it was going to get to Georgia.
Oh,
even,
wow.
like Atlanta.
That's crazy.
That's what my granddad said. And he watches the Weather Channel like all day, every day. So he knows.
It's going to get to Atlanta. Well, it's good. I think it's good that it's raining, at least here, but I don't think it rained in New York yet. But I do think for down here that it's rain. I think that's probably good and probably best, for
yes,
all
I
of
was
us.
really glad that it started raining.
Yeah. Well, that's kind of it, I guess. I'm trying to think of anything else. I guess that's it. I just want to remind everybody. Oh, merch. This T-shirt.
Oh my gosh, so cute.
Other girls. It's the same like theme as like Barbie, and I have my little tumbler. I
haven't seen
both.
I haven't seen the T-shirt in person, so I'm very happy that you're modeling it for us today.
Yes, it actually came in today. My T-shirt came
Perfect.
in today. Yes,
Perfect. Right in time. Isn't it funny how God plans these things?
I know. It's perfect. I really like it. It's crop, but it's really, at least for me, I can't do like the super crop that you young people do. But it fits perfectly. I'm wearing like pants, and it comes and meets right where the pants are. So there's not really any skin showing, which is what I like. I like the crop look.
Yeah.
I don't know how or why they do it, but it looks so good the way they do it. But I don't always want, like, maybe a little slither, if I'm feeling like really
no
saucy.
like serious midriff deal.
No. I've seen people who wear the crops where like you can see their under boob. I can't do that either. That's not.
Oh wow, that might as well like just be a bra, or not even.
Yeah, not about it. But a little bit of a slither, or if it matches up perfectly, I think it's super cute. I like that look, and that's what this is. So yeah, I guess we should just go ahead and get into it. We have a lot to cover. We have so much to cover, and we have to get into it. Last week, we talked way too much at the intro, but that's okay. People like it.
If you have any questions about The Little Mermaid, go to our last Teacap. You'll get plenty of info on it.
Yeah, if you're like on the fence about whether you should watch it or not, come talk to me. I got opinions. As
you just need some time to listen to all of this. That's all you need in order to enter this conversation.
Yes. Okay. Are you ready?
Okay. I'm ready. Let's do this. What are you drinking today?
Water. Just plain
water.
I'm
drinking cucumber water. That's why I asked you what you're drinking, because I wanted to flex my cucumber water.
No, that's cool. I still have. So it's so funny. Like, sorry, you guys. Quick tangent before we get started. I still kind of have a cough when I talk for a long time. Like if I'm just sitting, I'm fine. But the moment I start going yappity yap 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 yap, and then I'm like I'm like choking on something. I don't know. But so I have water today. Okay. Anyway, you ready?
Let's do this.
Here we go. Okay. The podcast is sponsored by, I'm trying to figure out the best way to do sponsors, you guys, because kind of doing them in the middle of the articles, it's just not working. We have so much to do, we can't really transition that
Forget.
well. I forget. Or like,
We have perfect segues that we just can't oversee.
Well, I'm also like looking at the time and I'm like, oh gosh, we got to get through this one. It's like we just finished the first story at like 46 minutes, so we just don't have time. But so I just want to name some great brands we like: American Women Beauty, Culture of Life 1972, the Pink Rose, which is where I got my necklace, and it is my jewelry store. And if you go, I'll link all of these fun websites. Oh yes, and Freeman's necklace. I will link all of these websites and like the discount codes that we have, and we'll just figure out like a better way to like have sponsors, because we do want to continue.
I could even put them in the editing, like,
if we do like pre-record some ads, maybe we can do that, because I do want to, like, something that's really big on my heart is also promoting
of course,
small businesses, and honestly and putting our money where our mouth is. Like, this business supports our values. If we can, let's support that business. And supporting small business is important. And you know what? That's going to be a great segue to, let's just go to story number 2. And then we'll come back to the first one. It's actually a great segue because we're going to be talking a little about business and entrepreneurship. Okay, so our first story is brought to you by people.com. It says, Shark Tank's Damon John seeks restraining order against former reality show entrepreneurs. John is seeking the restraining order against contestants who allege he cut them out of profits. Damon John is seeking a temporary restraining order against 3 former Shark Tank contestants. According to the Los Angeles Times, Bubba Q's boneless baby back rib owners, Al Bubba Baker, his wife Sabrina, and daughter Brittany. Wow, there's a bajillion ways you can spell Brittany. This one is spelled, this one's spelled Brttani. And daughter Brittany alleged John had cut them out of profits and tried to seize control of the business. And now John 54 is taking action over their alleged efforts to undermine a business partnership and the legal parameters they agreed to 4 years ago, his spokesperson told People. After repeated attempts to give the Bakers the ability to correct their violations, it is unfortunate that it's come to this. The temporary restraining order is due to the Bakers' blatant actions to undermine a business partnership and the legal parameters that they agreed to 4 years ago. They believe that they can unwind poor business decisions through slanderous social media posts and articles will no longer be tolerated, end quote. The family alleges that they receive more than 4% of the publicly stated $16 million in revenue from the business, and that Al Baker had been left out of the key business meeting. The Bakers have also posted a series of videos to social media in an effort to back up their claims with emails and other documents. A case was dismissed by the federal judge in New Jersey without prejudice, and Rastelli has also started seeking a restraining order against the Bakers. After the report from the Times, which John called a flawed interview and a false narrative, and a video posted to TikTok, he sent a cease and desist letter to the family demanding that they make publicly degrading or defamatory remarks against the plaintiffs and further cease public revealing confidential information per the publication. So, really quick, before you give your opinion, I want to say mine super quick.
Of course.
I was a huge Shark Tank fan. The only reason why I stopped watching is because it doesn't come on the same time that it used to come on. But I really should start watching again. But, like, nothing against Shark Tank. That's the only reason why I stopped watching it. Love Shark Tank. Damon is one of the best sharks on the show. He was part of the OG crew. I don't think there's ever really been any business issues before this one. And the thing about Shark Tank, which people don't know unless you're like in the fandom, is only about 50% of those businesses actually get the money that they are, or actually get funded on the show. So like if you get, so those people go up, yeah, shake it, we did it. Only 50% of those people actually get the funding. And not only that, sometimes it's not even the full amount that they shook on. Well, here's the thing, because sometimes people can, so these investors are like all of the investors, Mr. Wonderful, Mark Cuban, Barbara, Lori, Damon, all of them, they're real smart business people. They have tons of lawyers. Once they get down to the nitty gritty of, so they're just, the people on there are just saying, I make this and I'm doing that, blah, blah, blah. Here's some paperwork. Once they get the lawyers involved and once they actually like sit down and look and be like, okay, is this real? What you said on there and I agree to, is that really who you are? Once you also comes down to that, a lot of times people are not truly what they're not who they say they are. A lot of times. So only about 50%. That
doesn't surprise me.
Yeah, me neither. Because I'm sure, I know they vet before, but I don't know if they don't vet with like lawyers and they're not like, okay, let's just make sure and you can,
every detail adds
exactly. And if you really wanted to fake it, you could. There's ways. Like people who want to can and people have. So I think that people fake it till they make it. And then they get upset when they're not given what they thought they deserved. Yeah. So from outside looking in, from the information that we have from both parties, I think what it is this group thought that they were going to get X, Y, and Z. They didn't do what they were told to do. They didn't like fulfill their promise. And Damon's like, I'm not going to invest in a business that is not, if you say you're X, Y, and Z, yeah. And if you say that these are the records, then I need you to do that. And I think sometimes with entrepreneurship, and it's something that I struggle with too as an entrepreneur, jewelry store, as I mentioned previously, podcasts and media network, as mentioned previously as well. That is something I struggle with because I am not like a business girly. Like that is not my thing. Like I do it because I have no one else to do it. I'm not like financial. I'm more of an ideas person. I give you the idea. I can even implement the idea, the behind the scenes stuff, finances. I do it because I have to, not because I want to, not even because I'm good at it. And I think that sometimes, and this is just from meeting other entrepreneurs and just watching things like Shark Tank, I think sometimes people are not self-aware enough about themselves. So they think I can do any and everything. And I have been doing any and everything. And then they just are not good at it. Sometimes you're just not good at it. And I don't think people can recognize that. All right, that's my spiel. Go ahead.
But I thought he, in a sense, took the idea from the contestants and then cut the contestants out.
No.
Oh.
I think that's a narrative that they're trying to do, but like legally, and not only that, like a judge already said that what they're saying is not correct. I think that's what they want us to think, that he took the idea, but he can't take the idea. He doesn't even have anything that he is investing in that has it. That's what they want us to think. And I do think, there is probably some truth to them having a meeting without the main guy. I'm sure that's possible. I don't know either of these people. I can see how egos can get in the way, like you're not doing this the way so we're having this meeting without you. You know what? Then I'm not doing a business partnership with you anymore. I definitely see that. That's 100% possible. But to say that he has like taken their money, he has done this, he's done that, like that's just not. I don't think that's true.
See, it seems like to me the restraining order is pretty much the least of everyone's problems. Like this goes way deeper than a restraining order. I don't really even know. I really don't see the point. I mean, they've kind of already said what they needed to say. I mean, it just feels like, why would you tackle this rather than tackling the issue at hand, like the core issue? You know what I mean?
Well, I think the core issue has been resolved. He won in court, but they're upset that he won in court, so they're going on social media. So it's over. Like they won. He won in court. The judge sided with him when it comes to business issues. But they're upset about that. So they went to social media to say, well, this is what he's done. And now he's hey, stop.
Got it.
Yeah. And that's the business world. Always do things here's my advice as a not yet successful, I was going to say unsuccessful. No, not yet successful entrepreneur. Here's my advice to you young people out there. Always work in integrity. No matter what, always do your best. One thing that is going to be very important, and it might not seem like that because it does seem as if people without scruples seem to be the most successful ones, but they're not going to get as far as we think they are in the long run. Make sure you have scruples. Make sure you are always doing your best work. And your best work might not be as good as Mary's work, but if it's your best work, it'll continue to improve. Perfect example, this podcast. No matter what, I always did my best. Was my best good? Most times it was not. Eventually, Freeman came along, and now I can actually put forth the best. But I still had listeners, even when it wasn't at its best, and people stayed because of integrity, because of scruples. Have these three things: integrity, good work ethic, putting your best foot forward, and scruples, and you will go a lot further. Let the egos aside.
And we're on an upward hill. Like,
yeah,
the tough part is behind us. Well, this is probably the worst it'll get. Like, working full-time jobs and also doing this. Like,
yes.
As long as we keep, our integrity and we're honest with each other, we're honest with our subscribers and our listeners, we're on an upward slope. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's how all business is. If you're listening and you're like, I want to start a t-shirt company, I want to start a sticker company, I want to start this, it's literally just putting your best foot forward and just doing it. Also, a lot of people reach out to me. Okay, this is like quick tangent once again, but if you'll learn that that's who I am. A lot of people reach out to me about starting a podcast. Just do it. Like, even if it's terrible, like even if you don't have the best quality, you can ask me questions, like, and triple message me because I might not see it or I might forget. So please reach out. Like, I'm not saying not to reach out, but just do it. Like, sometimes you just need to actually just do it. Same with, starting a podcast, a business, anything. Just go forward and do it. Do it with integrity, do it with scruples, and just do your best. And once again, your best might not be as good as Mary Sue over there. But here's the thing about Mary Sue. Mary Sue,
she's got resources.
Has resources. She works for a big time company that comes in and does her makeup before, and they fly in guests, okay?
Yeah.
So don't worry about Mary Sue. It, could be frustrating that Mary Sue, gets all the accolades, gets all the best guests.
And she's putting out pretty negative content. But
yeah. And, people you've reached out to ignored you, but listen to her. I mean, that happens. That happens.
It's not personal.
I don't know anything about this, but
this is the general.
Yeah, we're just talking generally. But the point is, you do your best, and it'll keep going. It'll keep going. What's meant for you will be for you. Okay. Next story. This story is kind of a North Carolina centered story, and I thought it'd be interesting to talk about. So North Carolina officially has started voter ID for 2024, the 2024 elections. So this is brought to you by News Observer. With the new North Carolina Supreme Court decision that came last Friday, actually, that came Friday about using voter ID for elections, there could be changes ahead for voters in the 2024 presidential election. So challengers failed to prove the lawmakers discriminated by passing the... Okay, let me start that sentence over. This is worded so weird. Okay. Challengers failed to prove lawmakers discriminated by passing the voter ID law. The court said in the decision on Holmes v. Moore, the now majority Republican Supreme Court reversed the December decision made by the previous court that was majority Democrats. I'm going to pause right here for 2 seconds. In North Carolina, we actually vote for our for the Supreme Court, which I think is kind of unusual.
Yeah.
For most states. But this is why it's really important to turn your ballot over. That's why it's really important not to just go and be, I don't care about the president, I'm just going to vote every 4 years and just vote for the president. It's this stuff like this is like super important of why you turn your ballot over and why you go all the way down the ballot and you look at every single thing and you attend every single election. Okay. So what does this actually mean for voters? Quote, the most basic level, it means you're going to need an ID to vote in 2024. Western Carolina University political science professor Chris Cooper told the News and Observer on Friday.
How discriminatory.
I think about all the people who cannot get IDs. I mean, all the people that are walking around without IDs.
I know. I mean, I'm driving to the ballot office without my driver's license.
Among the acceptable forms of identification include a valid, unexpired North Carolina driver's license, a United States passport, state voter identification card, and local or state government employee ID cards. So, how disappointed are you that we have to have IDs to vote?
Gosh. Well, I will say it's an inconvenience because I haven't actually gotten my North Carolina driver's license yet, which is illegal. I realize that, but I hate the DMV. But
though? I mean,
I
you
think
have
if you're a resident,
license.
no, I think you have to have a state license.
Interesting. Okay, I
Because
didn't know that.
if you're a resident, and I'm supposed to also have a tag, anyways.
And
This
you're
is just God's
technically a
thing. I
resident?
really can't. What?
You're technically a resident of North Carolina?
Yep. I just signed my second lease. So.
Oh, because of the lease makes you the resident.
I guess, right? I mean, if you're living here.
I guess, but I'm just thinking
What
about,
makes you a resident? Oh gosh,
Well-
like Funky Freeman Fridays conversation.
No, seriously, because think about this. What about the college students that come for the summer and sign a lease? Are they
I don't know. I
residents?
mean, are you not allowed to like vote here? It raises questions, but honestly, like I don't think it's definitely not a bad thing. Like
I think you can pick and choose your resident. Sorry, I just thought of that. I think you can pick and choose your residence because when I was living in Virginia, I still had a North Carolina license, but I changed my residence to Virginia so I could vote in Virginia.
It says unexpired North Carolina's driver's license.
Yeah. Well, no. I'm talking about when I was in Virginia.
Okay, but
just
I'm talking about North Carolina.
yeah, no. But but before that, we're talking about like resident. Like what makes you a resident? And I'm
Okay,
saying,
the reason I'm asking what makes you a resident though is like because of the voter ID thing.
Right. I know, but I'm just saying like, well, I'm explaining like it doesn't. You can just be a resident. Like you don't have to actually like have any stake in the state other than like you can go to the college there and that's it. But anyway, the whole point is you need tons, you don't need tons of different things to vote. All you need is your ID. And 99.9% of people have an ID. Honestly, I want to say 100%, but then, that's just literally impossible for 100% people to have the ID. But like, I'll say this, my grandmother, never got her license. I'm not quite sure why, but she had an ID. She had an ID. Like,
yeah.
People have IDs, and I think it's...
Yeah, I mean, for, like, if you die, like...
Yeah.
Just... people need to be able to identify you.
Yeah.
In general, to fly, to not die.
Yeah, I can't even think of anything, like... Now, I'll be honest, I can't think of the last time I had to show my ID, other than, like, going to, like, a bar or something, but...
I didn't get my driver's license until I was 18, and like I would try to fly without a driver's license. Do you know how difficult it is to fly without a driver's license? Like they're doing cavity searches. Like they are so suspicious of you that you're 18 and you don't have an ID.
Oh, you didn't even have like your permit?
No.
Oh, that's interesting. So what did you have to prove you were you?
I had I didn't even have a passport. I think I had my birth certificate. And I had
that's interesting.
And I had a school ID. Anyways, I'm just saying, like, I don't think this is like that really that controversial of a move.
It is incredibly controversial, but I don't think it has a reason
like
to
in my
be.
opinion though.
Yeah. Oh yeah. There's no reason for people to be up in arms, and like I really would like to hear like if you do think this is like not good to ask people to have an ID or discriminatory. If you think so, please let me know because I legitimately do not understand and I want to know like what is it that people like everyone has to have an ID.
I think it's people that are undergoing immigration, the process of immigration.
Well, you have a green card. You have ID. Like not to tell you guys all about my job, but I actually work a lot with people who are in similar situations and you have identification. Like, it's not like it's not like you're just out here, just a person. Like, there was a time where I lost my ID I lost my ID. So I was taking my passport when I would go out with friends and then I lost my passport. So like, I had no identification. So like, but
you could not be identified.
I could not. If something happened to me, they would not know who I was. And that is like low-key my biggest thing. Like my mom's the type of mom that will like, they'll find like my ear, my mom would be like, well, her heart still could be beating. And it's like, no, if someone ever
And they're like, this is her ear.
yeah, and if someone were to ever kidnap me or something like that, like, please just like let my mom know that it's over, because she will try to the end, like until she sees like my heart has stopped, she will, and that's dramatic of her. Anyway, back to the topic of at hand. So yeah, I don't think it's that big of a deal.
Yeah.
And if you do, please let us know why, because I really would like to know, like, what makes it a bad thing to have this. Why do people consider ID laws discriminatory? I had a friend who is liberal, and he said this. And so it's not me as the conservative saying this, it's him saying that. He was like, it's kind of racist to assume that like black people can't get an ID. And he's the one who said that. And he's a liberal. So like, I don't get, because that's the whole thing. Like, oh, Howard, but I mean, black people can get an ID.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know who it's discriminatory against, though.
Their thought is black people.
Okay.
Thought is that, like, black
people,
people,
if your thought is black people, that is of course discriminatory.
Yeah, their belief is that it is a law that is being placed to prohibit black people from voting. But the thing is, a black person can go and get an ID. Not only can a black person go and get an ID, I would say that I don't know a single black person without an ID. Yeah, like I said, like my grandmother didn't have a license, but she had an ID her entire life. So it's like, I don't get it. I have another friend who lost her passport too. She was doing the passport thing. She and I are the only people I know that have ever not had some sort of form of identification for a while. The two of us.
I know what it is. It's discriminatory against those of us that have anxiety about going to the DMV.
Yes. Well, but according to this list, a reminder, you can also bring in, well, if you need a state ID, you get that from the DMV as well. You can also bring in a passport. You don't have to go to the DMV for a passport.
True.
And let me tell you, if you want to get a passport, you need to go ahead, and you have a trip coming up, go ahead and do it now. Yeah. You're backed up. And if you work for local or state government and you're an employee, you're good. You don't even have to worry about the DMV. So get a job working local or state government, and then you'll be fine.
Mallory's like me.
Well, technically, my ID would not be able to be used because it's not local or state. Technically. I'll explain after. So our next story, I'm super excited to get into, and Freeman has so much to say on it. It is brought to you by USA Today. Claudia Conway is back. She explains why she became a Playboy bunny. She wanted full control of her body and her voice. Conway, the 18-year-old daughter of former President Donald Trump's White House counselor, Kellyanne Conway, the attorney George Conway, a fierce Trump critic, announced she joined Playboy's content creation platform on Tuesday, May 23rd. Quote, when I was 15-16, I was exploited by the media, preyed upon, and forced into portraying myself as something I wasn't. My body was taken from me. Now, as a young adult, I am aiming to reclaim my womanhood and femininity in a way that is truly mine. I am putting myself out there in a way that is my own and no one else's. I believe in writing my own narrative, like I've said in the past, and taking back what was once unjustly taken from me. The social media influencer encouraged her followers to seek their own anatomy and freedom. And don't let someone capitalize off your vulnerabilities. Reclaim them. Playboy relaunched their magazine digital in March, months after they created a subscription platform for their business. Quote, Playboy's new creator platform has already paid out millions of dollars in earnings to creators since its relaunch in mid-September, with average creator earning multiples more than average creators on the 18-plus paywall platforms, the company said in a statement. The format works similarly to platforms such as OnlyFans, as Patreons can subscribe or pay to view exclusive content, message with Playboy creators directly, and receive special access to their daily lives in a manner they cannot do anywhere else. Freeman, take it away.
Okay, well, I think it's, first of all, very sad. I think it's very normal for a woman who has felt out of control, who has felt exploited, who has felt, you know, just taken advantage of, to want to do something, anything, to get in control. And I think this is kind of that effort. I think it sounds like she has been horribly mistreated. And anything, even if it's bad, even if it's immoral, even if it's not going to bring her the freedom she's looking for, anything is better than being out of control.
Really quick, do you know the full story of like who she is and like how she became popular?
No, I don't. Do you want to go ahead and touch on that?
Let me explain
Sure.
really quick.
Sure.
So, Kellyanne Conway, she worked for Trump. She is infamous for that picture of her being extra comfortable in the Oval Office. I just keep thinking about that picture whenever I think of her. She's
I've
like,
never seen this one.
okay, maybe look up Kellyanne Conway in the Oval Office.
Okay.
She's like in the inner circle. So that's her mom. Her dad went on TV, talked so bad about Trump, said Trump was awful. I want to say he created the Lincoln Project, which is the exact opposite of like Trump stuff, I guess you could say. Are you looking at the picture?
Yeah, I'm looking at the picture.
Yeah, my mom was like, "Oh, that's not. You wouldn't be like that comfortable in my husband's office." I'm like, "Yeah, she's too comfortable around him." Anywho, okay, so those are her parents, and she all of a sudden she wasn't allowed to have social media, anything like that. Which I wouldn't have. My kid probably wouldn't either. Well, she ended up getting a TikTok, and she would post videos on TikTok talking about her parents, how she's a liberal and she hates what her mom is doing, and she would sometimes like leak things, like information from the White House that she overheard her parents. She would even sometimes record, like she'd had, like, it was a video I saw, she had like the phone, the TikTok, and she's like, "Mom, you said blah, blah, blah," and then she like put the camera on her mom, and her mom's like, "Stop, you're on TikTok again." Like, one of those things. Normal teenage angst, like, let's not act like that's not normal teenage angst. So then that's when Kellyanne stepped down eventually to, come get
Take
control
care
of
of her
her
child.
home. Yeah. Which I get completely. I understand. And I think part of the problem was she put herself out there. So then all these people, especially people on the left, are like, "Yeah, that's right." Because, they hated Trump. So they're like, "Yeah, that's right. Tell us about Trump. You go, girl." And like, I think that's the other aspect of it. She probably felt too much pressure to be this liberal leader when, she's just a kid that was just acting out, which once again, like, it's normal. I would have taken the phone away immediately, but I'm not a parent. Who knows what I would do, but she's acting out. So like, I think when she says that she was exploited, I think it's because of stuff like that. And she also would post very inappropriate videos of herself on TikTok. And because she was doing that, because of who she was related to the Trump and to that, media outlets would run stories on her all of the time. She was very like, she was a good Trump a daughter. Like, that makes such a great headline. Dancing to WAP and, wearing very inappropriate clothes, things like that. And I think she's a kid. She didn't think about like, hey, like, I didn't ask for this, so my parents have put themselves in a position where they are kind of high up. So like, everything I do is going to do. So it's just going to take so much. So I think you're making a very good point. She just didn't feel control. She felt very out of, I don't know, like, anyway. So that's like some background. Like, you're right, is essentially what I'm saying. Just to give you some background. Anybody listening, if they need a background.
That's good to know. Like, she says, I'm putting myself out there in a way that's my own and no one else's. Like, that is giving like wounded woman.
Absolutely.
Like, she says she wants to write her own narrative and she wants women to take back what was unjustly taken from you. That's not like the sound of someone who's like, really fulfilled and happy and is taking this next journey to further herself. It sounds like it's a spiteful thing that she's doing just to get a hold on something, even if it's distasteful and sad.
Yeah.
I think it's so clear that like she's just trying to find control, even if it's in all the wrong places. And we all have this desire to be free. We have a good desire to be free. We have a good desire to be autonomous. We have a good desire to forge our own path. And Christopher West has this really great quote. And he says, all the hunger we have for love, for union, for happiness are given by God to lead us to Him. The difference, though, between a saint and a sinner is where they go to feed that hunger. So
that's good.
where is she going? She has a good desire. She has a good hunger right now. But where is she going to feed that hunger?
Wait, who's Christopher West?
Just a great Christian philosopher.
Okay. Definitely going to put that quote on the Instagram sometime this week.
Okay, cool.
No, that's a good quote. And
it was in my Bible study, actually. And I was like, wait, what was that quote? What was that quote? Who is it by? And I literally like flipped open my notes and it was right there. It was God was like, this is it.
Someone needed to hear that today. Read the quote again. Read the quote again.
Okay. All the hunger we have for love, union, for happiness are given by God to lead us to Him. The difference, though, between a saint and the greatest sinner is where they go to satisfy that hunger.
That's really good. And I mean, that's so poignant to the conversation. That's poignant to life in general, because that is when you were talking about she wanted to like take back the power, revenge. It sounded kind of more out of bitterness as opposed to like, because the best revenge is your paper. That's what Beyonce says. And sure, that's right. But like, the idea is like focusing on you. If you're saying, I'm here to do this against them, you're not really focusing, you're doing it against them. It's similar to, you break up with somebody and you're like, yeah, I got this new car to show him. And it's like, where did you get the new car? Like, you should get the new car for you,
Right.
It's that same type of mindset and everything. And the where they go to satisfy your hunger. And that just all back to God.
Back to God, baby. Back to God.
Back to God. When you feel... Because, okay, sorry. A million things going through my mind right now.
Let's hear it.
You said no, you made really, really good points. Especially that last quote is really, really good.
Thanks. That was God. That just like literally was open on my desk as I was typing this.
Freeman's really good because like I'll send her the docket and she'll look things up. She'll do her research. I just am like, let me read the first time some of these articles. The first time I'm reading the article is right here in front of the mic. Like, I'm not doing any of that. And I wish I had seen that quote before so I could have like thought more about it. But okay, sorry. So back to the topic.
You're working with the audience.
I am. We're learning together. Like me, you, like we're thinking it all out together. Okay, so back to Claudia. I think like the biggest issue is, number one, she's just one of the thousands of other girls who probably have similar stories. Because statistically, you once you have been sexually assaulted, or if you've had a negative sexual experience, you do become hypersexual. And one of the ways society has told you can get back that is to be hypersexual, is to be quote unquote in control. But you're not.
But on your own terms.
On your own terms. The thing is, like, you're not. Like, there's these people are still using you.
Literally.
You're not. That, I think that's the part that just drives me insane. Like, you're not in control.
Yes. And when she said that she felt exploited, I'm like, what do you think playboy is? That word to me, I was like, you're really going to say you don't want to feel exploited?
Especially playboy. I mean, my goodness, like girly pop. But
like not, like just so
And you know, I
Well
hate to
known.
say it, like, they probably are paying her good money, like, at the end of the
Oh.
day, and that's probably why she's doing it. Like, I mean, wouldn't have thought twice about Playboy if someone didn't do this article. Let me tell you, I saw multiple videos about it on YouTube. A podcast I listened to, I'm pretty sure, mentioned it, like, casually mentioned it. Like, Playboy knows what they're doing. A former
Yeah.
Trump, like
You're
I
so
said,
relevant.
former Trump aide's daughter brings such a, and she's getting all this. And what is that? What is it when you use someone? What is that called? Exploitation. And it's, oh gosh, it's so sad. And nothing that the world will give you is going to be satisfying long term. I'm not going to sit here and say having lots of money and having men gawk at you as an 18-year-old girl doesn't feel good in the moment. I'm not going to sit there and say that. Some people, it wouldn't feel good. And if you're listening, it wouldn't feel good. That's completely fine as well. But in the moment,
Props to you for being mature about it.
right? In the moment, I'll be honest with you, especially 28-year-old me. If someone gave me tons of money, a lot, like, it's the Holy Spirit that convicts me. If someone I'm not gonna act like, oh yeah, no, that's just, you're gonna feel solidarity at first. But nothing the world does is going to satisfy you. Because, sure, in the moment, it might feel great. I have no doubt it'll feel great, you know? But once that moment is over, like, once you really sit down and think about it, like, it's not satisfying.
Your head hits the pillow at night.
Yeah, it's not satisfying. And it's not satisfying because something inside, like, it is unnatural for for so many women to be so, I don't know what other word other than, like, prostitution, to be so, like, callous about it. I mean, prostitution, as they say, is the oldest profession, no doubt about that, but it's not normal. It's not it goes against who you are biologically. Like, we are biologically wired to be sexually intertwined with one person. Like, that is where you feel the most at peace. That is where, like, this is how God designed us. So, you know, no matter what you do, no matter how much money you're going to get doing this, no matter how much notoriety, no matter how many men who are probably basement dwellers that are disgusting, probably like 50 plus, living in their parents' basement, so asking their mom to bring them down pizza rolls, no matter how many of these men are in love with you and buy you gifts, it's not going to fulfill you. It's not fulfilling. Like, what fulfills you is God, is like, and I think that, you know, another aspect of this is a lot of these girls aren't in relationships. And I'm not saying to get in a relationship, because I don't think that relationships don't fulfill you either. What fulfills you is God, and, like, keeping your eyes focused on that, and community. Like, so many, your friends, your family, your friends that become family. Like, these are the things that are lasting. These are things, like, you know, personally, I'm not having my best week, but, like, having good friends that I can talk to about other stuff other than, like, work, and, you know, having you guys I can talk to. These are things that are fulfilling. Being able to, like, chat with Freeman about, like, future goals and stuff. Like, these are fulfilling. These are things that are not going to leave you empty. And the world doesn't tell you that, because the world is just so focused on money and sex and power, and these are just all things that they all come crashing down every single time. This whole OnlyFans sexploitation thing is eventually going to crumble, and it's going to leave some people broke, and
those around them.
Yeah, like, this is not a sustainable thing. Like, when I really sit back and think about, like, the whole OnlyFans, and you guys know my heart is like, we got to get all these girls out of here. How do we save them? So the more
put up a firewall, a 2 firewall or something.
Go up, reach out to every single girl. Hey, girl, I don't have any money for you. I don't have any
resources. I just need to look at your phone really quick and delete an app.
I just want to help. No, but, like, when I really think about this is not a sustainable life. I'm going to talk specifically for women, because eventually you're going to want to be out, and these things are going to be on the internet and last forever. I sometimes think about some of the men that are doing this. Like I said, is that 50-year-old pizza roll man on his computer that's never had a real job, that still screams
5 o'clock
mommy.
shadow.
Yeah, like this guy can be creepy and dangerous and dangerous. I mean, have you guys not seen Degrassi? Like, this guy is dangerous, and you're just kind of like la di da about it. I just want everyone listening to just not go down that road. I think that revenge, best revenge is your paper. It's like such a fun thing to say, and like revenge isn't necessarily the right word that we should be looking at. I said that earlier as a joke, but like the more I think about it, revenge is not what we're looking for. We're looking
For sure.
for, and I don't want to say closure. I don't believe in closure. We're looking for
Somewhere to satisfy that hunger.
somewhere to satisfy the hunger. I was going to say moving forward, but like that's somewhere to satisfy that hunger. And that is through God. Let's talk a little bit quickly about like how would that look like practically? Number one, getting involved in some sort of Christian community. If you're listening, you're like, I'm not a Christian. I don't really, but I do feel kind of like gross about
Spiritual.
this or spiritual, something like that. I would still say get involved in a Christian community. A good Christian community is not going to be like, you're not a Christian, get back, witch. A good Christian community is not going to do that. Like, now, if you're in there and you pull out some tarot cards and you just start, doing some creepy things. Okay.
Palm readings.
Yeah, palm readings. You raise your hand, ask if you can teach, the class of striptease. Okay. So then maybe the Christian group might not accept you then, but like if you were, coming to listen and just kind of like talk about things, and like some really great conversations happen in a good Bible study Christian community. And you don't necessarily have to join a Bible study, but a Christian community. So it could be like a young adult group that meets on Tuesday. I'm saying Tuesday because almost everybody I know their young adult group meets on Tuesdays. So does yours meet on Tuesdays?
No, Thursdays.
Oh, okay. Well, young adult group that meets whenever. It could just be a group of friends that you've met through like Christian things, and you guys start your own. So joining a community like that, making sure you're reading the Bible. That is something that I go through seasons where I'm like, oh my goodness, this is the best thing in the world.
Yes.
Wow, look at this story. Yeah. Oh my gosh, this story. I was just telling someone about, I met someone this weekend and they were telling me about like, they just started reading the Bible and like, we're talking about things. And then I go through seasons where I'm like, oh, I cannot be bothered right now. I do not want to read.
The ancestor pages.
Yeah, like, oh my goodness,
How
I
he
could
built
not
a
care.
temple.
Don't tell me any more of these Leviticus rules. I do not care. They don't apply to me. Like, there are moments when you go through that, but you really should and I'm talking to myself, you really should get into this, because that is where you want to know what God has planned. You want to know how you're going to be less hungry. It's the Bible. And also praying. Praying is another one that I'll say, like, I really struggle with praying because just out of human, I'm a results-oriented person. Like, I really like tangible results. Like, if I'm going to pray, I need, God, I really need your help with this. It would be
You got
nice
a timeline.
Yeah, we have all this, and like, God doesn't work like that. So I'll say personally, I do struggle with praying, but this is another one of those things that you have to do. It's going to help your hunger. It's going to help your thirst. And then lastly, so just another like practical, like just regular thing to do is just get away from people who are like encouraging this, people who are like, I'm like, how did this get to be so popular? Why would somebody even think that like Playboy would ever have their best interest at heart?
Yeah, I mean,
Where does this come from?
You're right. You're right. It's a culture. It's a culture. So get out of that culture.
Yeah.
Get out of that culture and come to us.
Join some other girls' culture.
Really to Jesus.
Yeah. Come to Jesus. And then if you really want girls to hang out with and talk to, join our app. There's some cool girls in there. Maybe you can hit it up with someone if you live in the Charlotte area. Hit me up. No, but seriously, like, get away from that.
I need friends.
Yeah. So do I. Get away from that. Run, don't walk. Playboy does not care about you. The people in OnlyFans do not care about you. Jesus cares about you. And I care about you.
Yeah.
I'm not going to give you bad advice. I might give you advice that might not work out the way you want it to occasionally, but it's never going to be bad advice. That's why
For
I'm
sure.
here. All right, ladies. We have gone over quite some time. Let's just push back the story we were going to do this last week that we pushed to this week. Let's push it back to next week. And then just to like, and on kind of like a light, fun note, let's just do that other one because it might not. Okay. So I'm going to play this TikTok. And we're going to talk about it. And then, you guys tell us how you feel about it.
Yeah, this is actually really fun. Yeah.
Okay. Here we go.
So I think I came up with the best question you could possibly ask someone if you want to understand how they think. I've asked this question to hundreds of people, including my grandparents, billionaires, my friends, a homeless guy once. Everyone has a different answer. Here is the question. So I want you to think about something that happened to you earlier today or yesterday. Not something super important like a meal or something like that. Replay it in your head, like kind of see it happening. Are you seeing it in first person through your own eyes? Or are you seeing it in third person, like you are kind of watching yourself do it? I have built an entire theory surrounding the answers to this question, and I would love to share with you if you're interested. But first, I really want to hear your responses. So please let me know in the comments what you guys think.
Okay, so let us know in our comments what you guys think. But Freeman, tell me, how do you see yourself when she said that?
Third person when I'm dreaming.
Oh.
But if I think about like what I had for breakfast, I think about me, like I see the avocado toast like in my hands. So first person.
That's
What about you?
interesting. Always third person. I don't even think I've ever seen myself as first person. Like, I have been really contemplating this question. I don't think I've ever even seen myself as first person.
Wait, what do you mean you haven't seen yourself as, like, you haven't seen something from your perspective?
Like, I don't. Well, no. Like, I've lived. Like, I can see now.
No,
but
when you're reflecting on
like
it,
when I'm
you know?
reflecting, I don't think I've ever like. I'm trying to reflect on everything today. I only see it from third person.
Like, you see yourself, your body moving on the other side of the room.
I'm like watching myself.
What?
Yes. And I think I've only seen that way. I can't even think of a time like, and I'm trying to even think back as a child. Like,
What?
I've seen myself do it. Like, I have like 3 pictures on my wall of moi, and I'm like thinking about those moments. I am like seeing myself do these moments. Like, I don't see it through my. I don't know what that means.
Okay, here's what I think it means.
Okay.
I've heard that seeing events, don't worry, seeing events in third person apparently means that you take things less personal, that you tend
That can't
to be
true. Keep going.
I think I don't know. I think I've heard that it means like you're less judgmental, you're just more impartial, you're okay, which
This doesn't
Now that I'm
sound like me.
saying it.
Like, I'm so like
Now
it
that I'm
does.
saying
Yeah, I'm incredibly judgmental. I am absolutely partial, and I take everything personally. So I don't know.
I think I've heard that it means that you're just like
I thought it meant
just-
like I am dramatic, cause like, or like I see myself as like the
Really?
main character. Cause think about it, like if I'm watching myself, I'm the main character. Like when I think about my dreams,
No, but if you see yourself like interacting with someone, you see two people interacting with each other.
Yeah.
You don't see just one person talking at you.
that's true. So then I guess it's not main character.
So it's third
It's like I'm
person.
watching
It's
a
like
movie,
just
yeah.
you're just out of control, neutral, impartial. Like you literally don't have a perspective.
That's so funny because that's not me at all.
It's not. No, it isn't.
I'm the opposite of neutral. That's so funny.
You're like, I'm a radical. Gladly.
Yeah. Yeah, I have an opinion on everything. That's so
You really do.
interesting. Okay, so what does first person mean?
I think first person
It's
means
just like the opposite of that.
yeah, you're always on your own side, which is good, but of course you want to sometimes be neutral and like bipartisan.
Yeah.
There are time for that.
That's so
But I don't know if that's
interesting.
true. That's just what I've seen.
Yeah,
like,
maybe I'll have to
researching
like look it up and do some more research because like that's just not me. And when you said the dream too, like all of my dreams I see as movies. Like whenever I'm like
Yes,
telling a
same.
dream, I always go the character playing me because that's like I don't know. That's
Oh,
how
wow.
I say the character
Wow.
playing me. That's how I see my dreams.
Wow.
I
Well, what about you guys? Tell us. Let us
Yeah.
know.
When you said that, I was like, is there someone else there? Because you said, what about you? And you like look to your left and I'm like, oh.
No, I'm looking at our live studio audience, Mallory.
Gotcha. Sorry, I forgot. Sometimes I forget you guys are here. Thank you guys so much for coming. Thank you. So yeah, let us know what person that you see yourself in, and then if you have an explanation of like why or an article that explains why, let me know because everything that she said about third person is the exact opposite of me.
Yeah, it may be wrong.
I
Maybe
want to
entirely
know. Well, and here's the other thing too. I feel like it's kind of also made up. Like, I don't think there's a real logical reason.
Yeah.
I think it's just like some people's brains work that way. But yeah, so that is today's show. We talked a lot. We're at the 1 hour and 30 minutes, but it won't be this long. But let's see how long it'll be when we edit and like add the fun things. If you guys have been enjoying that, make sure you reach out and thank Freeman. I think the podcast has gone from like here. Well, no, it wasn't bad. So it's gone from like here to like up here, like you can't even see on the screen because of Freeman and her editing and the time and the effort she puts into this. So like make sure you thank her for that. And while you're doing that, go ahead and leave us a review, a 5-star review, really, because I know that's how you truly feel about the podcast. Go ahead and leave a 5-star review. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. The question on Spotify, I guess will just be about the perspective. And then that'll just be the question on Spotify. And then the poll will do, I don't know, I'll make up a poll that we'll do for Spotify. And that'll also be the question for YouTube. Please comment on YouTube. We are back to, let me see you guys. Oh goodness. This morning it was like 70% men. At the time of this recording, everyone.
How?
I don't know.
Are we that cute to watch talk?
Maybe. Okay, here at the time of this recording, we're at 60% men and 36% 35 to 44-year-olds, which isn't terrible, especially if they're women. I don't mind that, but I have a sinking feeling that they're men. And it is definitely because of the title, The Red Pill, that I had. That is our most watched video currently.
What?
Yes. Yep. And then the second most is the clip. So for those that don't know, on YouTube, we clip we clip parts of the podcast. So for example, tomorrow the one about birth control is going to go up. Like our conversation we had about birth control is going to go up. And if you're having a conversation with your friends and you don't want them to, or like they kind of like, oh, I don't want to listen to a 1 hour podcast. Couldn't be me. But if they're that way, you can send them just the clip for them to listen to. So we do that as well. But anyway, so on YouTube, subscribe and like comment if you're a girl. Just subscribe and leave a comment. Like let us know you're there. Let us know. Yeah, I guess that's it. So thank you guys so much for listening. Day, night, evening, however, wherever you're listening. Bye.
Bye-bye.